we work a lot with augmented reality and extended reality, and during Corona times, and if you attended last year, you will see how we developed within only 1 year due to Corona. So this is one of the main drivers, yes, in digital transformation and use extended reality. So digital factory using augmented reality across all areas. So I have had a presentation last year. So let me first give you a brief interview on EOS. Yes, and I think it's better to go over there. Yes, you have a better view. And EOS is a 3D printer company. This means additive manufacturing. So we have 4 different areas in our company. One is material, polymer materials, metal materials. Yes, and we print parts like, for example, for SpaceX rockets or even brushes or whatever, and even something where you can play with. We are not allowed to say which company it is, but it's made of polymer parts, small ones with 6 dots, and you have these metal and polymer systems. Yes, so depending on what you want to print and what you want to create in 3D printing. And then you have software, which is preparing your CAD data, yes, for the parts to be printed. And one of the main areas is additive minds, because 3D printing is not just hitting the print button and the machine is printing. Yes, you need a lot of knowledge in front of how to work with your data, yes, how to prepare them, which material you have to want to use, etc. pp. And only within Additive Minds we have 120 days of training. Yes, and when I joined EOS a little bit more than 2 years ago, most of the trainings have been analog. Yes, sending people to people, having classroom trainings. Yes, so this couldn't be expanded, this couldn't be made globally. And one of our visions is the factory of the future will only have 2 employees, a man and a dog. And the man will be there to feed the dog, and the dog will be there to keep the man from touching the equipment. Okay, this will never become reality, yes, but we are working on the smart factory, so you will see some examples about it. And when I joined EOS, like I said, we have had a lot of analog training materials, like classroom trainings, like SharePoints. We have had wikis which haven't been connected, and we focus mainly on the 10% of formal learning. Yes, but we didn't have had a look on the 20% and 70% of other training materials. So my mission have been to disrupt it. Yes, and then I was going through the company and see where we can switch from analog to digital. Yes, and I said, okay, this is our digital thread in knowledge management. So we have this area here of formal learning. Yes, where we have all these learning materials, where you have self-training, etc. You have wiki documentation and. And then we have this area of informal learning in the moment of need. So you're going to the machine and you need some input. If it's training, if it's just knowledge, whatever it is, but you need it in this moment, how to adjust the laser. Yes, and then you even can forget it again. So it must not be a real learning, because you are doing this one time, and next time maybe you will do it in 9 months. And then you have this social and AI-driven learning and knowledge management. Like, for example, in Microsoft Teams, someone is asking a question, yes, getting 3 answers, and he says, hey, this is the right answer. And automatically, the knowledge drop, do I have a pointer? Yes. No? Oops. And automatically, the knowledge drop should go down here, yes, and go into the formal learning. So then we have the circle closed. And this is what I've shown even last year, but this year we also have an additional circle around. You will see it even afterwards. So we still have this classroom training, yes, but our classroom situation is a little bit more relaxed and more kind of coaching today. And classroom training will become a premium service. Yes, so 80% of the trainings you can do on your own, and 20% will be the training, the coaching, yes, on your individual needs. I spoke about the 120 days we have on Additive Minds, and we have had a project in Russia to educate 100 engineers to become additive manufacturing specialists. And there the customer said, okay, with classical behavior, how long do we need? And we said 3 years. And they said, no, it's much too long. We want to have it in 6 months. Yes, so we really needed to digital transform our training materials. So the goal have been the first 2 level should be 100% digital content and 50% overall. And I was going to my management and say, hey, we have these job roles. Yes, you see the 5 job roles. You have these level of knowledge, and I want to have 50% digital content. And they said, 50%, okay, go for 30%, yes, because we have 0%. So we started our journey, and then we decided, okay, with all the knowledge we share, yes, we have all these different training materials and possibilities to share knowledge, yes, in different phases from gather first experience to become an expert. And we built a new learning path. So learning paths, you see the different colors, yes, different technologies we are using inside. And in the end, we have had more than 75% online material. Yes, so we got these 75% instead of the 50% I predicted. And we built our ecosystem of, now there are 7 different job roles. Yes, and you're starting on the left side, and then you're going, for example, for application specialist, you see your roadmap. And out of this, we built a marketplace. It started last month. Yes, so additional business due to digitalization. Yes, and there are different courses from a complete job role course, I would say, or some individual small courses. And then we have had enhancement with artificial intelligence, yes, even by actor or by audio voiceover. You will see an example afterwards. I will share some videos with you. Next area, augmented reality training and support. And we choose augmented reality for, I would say, 95% of our trainings. Yes, and only when it comes to really secure things, like you're working with heat, you're working with powder or something else, and you have to wear masks or something like this, you can't wear the glasses today. Yes, maybe different in 2 years when Apple and Facebook will have their devices, but we are using HoloLens nowadays, and as a fallback, we use iPad. Yes, so even we can give remote support. So it looks like this. Yes, I'm running into a problem. Someone is looking through my eyes to the problem. You will see it in some visuals afterwards. And we said, okay, we don't want to build just a light tower. Yes, we want to see in the whole company of EOS, in the different areas where we can use augmented reality. Yes, and nowadays, due to Corona, you see you have a lot of situations in HR, in onboarding or something else, where you don't have access to people or people in the right place. Yes, and like said, Daniel can join us because we have a machine installation in Colombia, and and this is very, very time intensive. Yes, and to do it remotely via phone or something else does not work if you're not directly looking through the eyes of the client. So we are working with a HoloLens with a remote support session. Yes, and then we have this area of marketing. Our main fair should have been in November here in Frankfurt. Yes, it's a Formnext, and now it's a virtual fair. So now we have to work on within six weeks. Yes, to create a virtual stand with virtual machines or augmented machines or whatever. Yes, having a catalog, for example, and dragging out our machines to the floor and let them appear. Yes, and show the 10 key features. And then we have the area of production, we have the area of our service and training consulting. So we made value workshops and said, okay, which are the main areas we should focus on? Yes, so you see a lot of travel efforts, you see a lot of customer trainings, and remote presentation, trade shows, yes, and even driven by Corona, Yes, you see the topics really popped up. So we started our augmented reality roadmap in February 2019. We have had our infrastructure in place in February, directly in front of COVID. Yes, same have been with Microsoft Teams. So we have had a global rollout on 9th of March. Yes, so 1 week before the global shutdown have been, or our shutdown here in Germany. And we are building these augmented reality applications. Yes, for remote support, for machine training and sales enablement. This is the first focus. Yes, and then from there, we even can use it for HR, for onboarding, and. So we have had a lot of external awareness, and this has been one reason in front of Corona that I recognized there's a lot of external awareness on what we are doing than it is the internal awareness. Yes, so internally they said, okay, first build and then we will have a look. Yes, but here, for example, more than 1 year ago, we have had a machine in front of 9,000 people at the PTC keynote, and there have been introduced an augmented reality software, Expert Capture. Or we have had a 3D printed robot arm. You see it over here. Yes, and here you have an iPad, which is bringing some training and knowledge management onto this 3D printed robot arm, which originally is 2 meters high and weighs around 1.5 tons. Yes, and now you can take this little robot arm and explain how to change things. You even will see it afterwards in the video. And we have had some customer awareness here for orthotics. This company is producing these orthotics with our 3D printers, and they wanted to explain what the 3D printer is doing and what the enhancements are in 3D printing against classical production. And here is the commissioning of our Formiga 110. This product is finalized within 2 weeks, and we will have this as a digital opportunity instead of sending a service technician out to customer, yes, and to make the machine installation. So, a lot of examples, and now we're coming to some things where I don't have to talk too much. And this shows a little bit the roadmap until, I would say, 1 month ago. Yes, so 1 year ago, or more than 1 year ago, we have had this digital factory on an analog paper. So we have had this sheet of paper, and then you have had the digital factory. Yes, and explaining customers, okay, you have 3D printers, you have a material support, you have a production line, post-processing, etc. Then we have this commissioning of the Formiga 110. Yes, and this is here in our showroom. And like I said, within 2 weeks, this will be a commercial version of installation. And there are 121 steps in the commissioning of the Formiga. And 61 of them are supported by augmented reality. And the speed is more than 80% faster. And you have quality assurance because every step is done. And like you see, our machines are 360 degrees, having lots of doors to open, yes, and a lot of engineer knowledge in the background. So, going to the next example. Okay, this is just regarding adjusting. And like said, we have had these 121 steps, and 60 of them are analog, like measure the room, get an IP address or something else. And then we have this example here where we have been on stage, yes, with this augmented reality tool from PTC, which we even have had in some productions. You even will see it in a small example from my US colleagues, which are working with Expert Capture. Yes, and you see here the expert is capturing the knowledge. Yes, the steps to be done. And doing this with the HoloLens. Here's the area, area of action. Yes, and what to have to be done, taking a picture over there. And then he is giving the glasses to the other guy. And you see in the little video inside, yes, what this guy is seeing in his glasses. And now he is introduced what to do. And I think these kind of tools to really capture the expert knowledge, they really should raise and should be much easier to handle like they are nowadays. Yes, and here is the example on the 3D printed robot arm I spoke about. So it's all about the AI, the object recognition. Yes, and then bringing the right example. Yes, and now you can explain it to someone even if you don't have the machine close to you. And you can have a 3D printed model, which is good for EOS. And you even can augment any object. So I was sitting in a session with our HR department, and we have had this Würfel. Yeah, this cube, thanks. And I thought, okay, we even can enhance this one, yes. And this have been done in within 5 minutes, yes, to create something like this, just to augment this. And here is the customer example I spoke about here from our customer Otto Bock, which is creating ortheses and protheses. And here is the service instruction at first. No, this is the example. So part is printed. Yes, we do like if the part is printed. Yes, and now you can walk around this part and see the advantages through 3D printing. Yes, you see the orthesis, PFO, and then you can tap this part and you get the additional information. Yes, what now is in different here in perforation and flexible structure than it have been formerly in the classical production line. Just going forward a little bit. Yes, here is the service instruction for the service engineer on customer side, how to change the recoder. And then we have had an example on last year's Formnext. We have a paper-based process, yes, which we have to do before we start a print job. And this have to be done before every print job. And this is 3 pages. Yes, and you have to fill out the form, and then you take the form and put it on the staple, and then it have to last there for 10 years. So this is a very bad situation because you have all these values and you don't make any use out of it. Yes, and we said, okay, now we are taking augmented reality, recognizing objects, recognizing values, and putting it to a big data table. Yes, and then we have the ability to compare the data of all machines. Like, for example, we have a machine hall with 20 machines. And you see here even the correct placement of the measurement, etc. pp. The procedure is a little bit long. But you can imagine having these 20 machines, yes, and 3 pieces of paper and storing it for 10 years, and now you have real worth or data value. This is a partner from us, Linde, and they have a small machine, yes, which is serving the gas flow if you print metal. And this little machine right now, you see now the hand coming in. So in the HoloLens, you can interact with a human-machine interface. Yes, you can interact with the machine which is not even there. Yes, and this is augmented virtuality. Yes, but you even can have this small machine in the room and let appear a 3D printer on the left side. And then you can explain to a service technician what to do, like in case of X, Y, Z. Yes, go around, do this and that. And you're getting the help panel, and the help panel follows you around the machine and giving you the instruction. Yes, you even have here the quality assurance. And then we thought about, okay, let's do the next step, and this is currently in R&D on our side. We want to have the additional level of HR, of skill and knowledge management. Yes, so system knows what I know. Yes, in case I need support, I'm getting the support, and automatically a flag is set. Like here, for example, the object is recognized. You get the IIoT information from this machine. Yes, you see this is a machine, the IP information, it's online. And in the moment it's getting offline, with the information you have, you are looking on the left side in the knowledge base, on the right side on the learning management system. Yes, so you're combining reality, knowledge and learning in one screen, in your reality. You even can insert some old manuals. But I will show you that the app is currently available, which is showing our picture of the future. Yes, so there we will have AR, IIoT, HR skills and competencies within EOS X-ray. But this will be an additional video. So going back to the presentation. Okay, knowledge management with intelligent AI is not the topic from today, so I leave it short and simple. But knowledge finds people, yes, and not people don't have to find the knowledge. So this should be the thing in the future, that the knowledge in the moment of need, I get the right knowledge for the right situation. Yes, connecting knowledge pools, creating learnings, drive ideation and innovation, find experts. Like for example, I'm talking a lot about augmented reality, so maybe I'm an expert. Yes, automatically recognized by the system. So we have had first the circle of blended learning, the core. Then we have the circle around with augmented reality. We have the knowledge management. And now we have the competency, skill and knowledge metrics and management. So with the main focus, automatic and AI generated content. So this means, and you will see it afterwards in the video, not any content have to be created on our own. Like for example, we have a 90-minute video, or today it will be some hours. Yes, and you bring it to a system. The system is scrubbing automatically through the content and saying, hey, these are 5 minutes about augmented reality. These are 5 minutes about virtual reality. Yes, and they are only interesting for you. You don't have to view the 90 minutes. Yes, so we will come to the situation finally after the R&D to have more quality assurance, to have more individualization of learning and training, of competence development, AR-based performance support, and efficiency improvements in time, quality, in the work progress. So combining learning world and the real work world. And like said, bringing together reality, knowledge, and learning in one screen. So, giving you this example,
Welcome to the journey into the future in the year 2030, when the picture of the future from the Additive Minds Academy has become a reality. In 2020, we still sketched the smart factory with a control center at which the entire production is monitored and controlled. But our vision goes further.
Our first example with augmented reality was the digital factory on analog paper. Here it was shown how EOS imagined a digital factory. Using IoT, the vital data of the machines and the processed construction orders are shown in the function of the smart factory in which the finished products are created autonomously. The view of our augmented reality app goes further and goes hand in hand with our vision of the future. The employee has followed a learning path according to his role profile in 3D printing. This and his skills and competencies are stored in the HR system. Each learning activity is stored automatically and without manual steps. The self-learning artificial intelligence begins with the curated content creation. For example, a video recorded by an expert is automatically transcribed, translated into world languages by machine translation, and provided with synthetic audio. For this purpose, the taxonomy is also applied to common terms and small units of meaning are formed, so learners are only offered the content that is relevant to them as encapsulated learning nuggets. Now the employee enters the machine hall through his augmented reality glasses. Since we don't have any 3D printer next to us, this will be created in the app. Here in M290, he sees the current construction jobs, the vital data of the machines, and receives predictive information. Maintenance also shows which service activities are due and when. In the event of a production stop, this is triggered in the app by clicking on the machine type, the error code, and the historical data are automatically processed and proposed solutions are offered. If the problem affects a type of machine that has not yet been operated but is fundamentally familiar, for example, the safety briefing is carried out first. Then the solutions found using the machine and error type are offered from the knowledge base, left side, and, for more fundamental problems, from the learning management system, right side, to solve the problem. In our case, it will now be shown how the problem with the dosage factor is eliminated. If the problem cannot be solved alone, you press the remote support button and a support employee switches to it and looks at the problem through my eyes and instructs me to solve it.
The app shows how this film, the possibilities of 2020 but also the outlook of what the world will look like in 10 years, if a system continuously develops knowledge and learning experiences according to the job profiles using AI and employees develop their skills. As you can see, the audio voices generated by means of AI were no longer quite as robotic, and there were also the first AI video actors. But now back from the year 2030 to the year 2020, and we look forward to your questions.
So like you have heard, this lady isn't real, she's artificial. Yes, and so this is what we are using even to have some personality within our learning applications. Yes, and use these video actors, yes, to have not this dry technical parts only, but having someone to talk to. And next version will be one of our employees will be green screened. Yes, and brought into the system. And like you have heard, the quality of the voiceover, the artificial voiceover, is much better than it have been maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Yes, and now we can easily create other language versions. Yes, because I have seen that, for example, our Chinese colleagues have some problems with English. Same as, for example, in Mexico. Yes, and so we have to have additional languages available. And this little app shows, and it will be developed more and more within our R&D and showing up what we want to do, yes, and how the reality, the augmented reality, will look in the near future. Okay, so having a look at the time. So extended reality and artificial intelligence is even going global. So we started our approach 2 years ago here in our headquarters. And now, due to Corona, we work closer together with our international colleagues. Yes, in North America, like even in Asia. And out from there, we have the last videos I wanted to show you. So this will be shown next week at the IMTS fair in USA. Yes, and this is a multi-box setup here with Microsoft HoloLens and Expert Capture. Because our colleagues in US, they have an individual machine which is not sold today into other areas of the world. It's just for the US market. But what they are doing is they're taking all our training materials from the theory of polymer printing, yes, and combining a learning path for the individual machine and doing these augmented reality steps. And here are some instructions included. Maybe you can hear it. Yes. And also he's working with the voice commands.
Open multibox by lifting the lid. Verify that there is enough powder to complete the job. Close multibox and lock the lid. Move multibox towards docking station. Align them. Roll multibox forward until it fully engages with docking station. You will hear a click.
And one of the reasons why we are using video instead of having a digital twin is we don't have a digital twin. Yes, nowadays. So now, as long as we don't have a digital twin, we even will take video. Yes, and once we have the digital twin, we even will have just the augmented reality version and showing in reality what to do, but not with these old machines. This is one example. And then we have an interesting example from my colleagues in Singapore. And the sense behind is, they are doing it together with ARTC, which is a combination of I would say 60 companies over there in Asia. Yes, and they have this metal 3D printers within their education line, and each half year 25 students are coming around, yes, and have to be introduced into 3D printing. Okay, for example, if you change a recoater, yes, it's a little bit tricky, because when you insert the recoater again, you have to lift it by 0.5 millimeters. If you forget to do this step, the recoater will crash and it will cost more than 1,000 euros. Yes, and having 25 students causing these problems again and again, it's maybe better to have just an augmented virtuality. Yes, and so going into this video again, you will have guided tour, you have even scenario-based, you even can play around, you even can make errors without that it costs anything. Yes, and here this is in my garden last week. And this app will be released within 2 weeks. So now we get an M290, our metal machine. Okay, proceed. Now I place it here somewhere. And this is just recorded with my mobile phone. Yes, and now you see the action areas. And you have an AR view, but you even can have a fallback on VR view. Yes, so you're getting an explanation about this machine. So this is really the basic machine introduction, yes, and it's going deeper and deeper and deeper from there. And you even can walk into the machine and have a look into different areas. So things you even can't do in normally. Yes, going through closed doors. And this is what our colleagues in Singapore have been done. And even this app will be extended time by time, yes, to have a marketing material, to have training, to have knowledge, whatever you want to use it for. So these have been the main examples I wanted to show you today. Yes, and development is going further and further. So, if you have any questions, we will have the roundtable afterwards. Yes, and thank you very much for your attendance.